Cupid's Playbook, How to Play the Dating Game to Win.
Oh, how exciting. And you guys worked on this together too?
We did.
Co-authored it?
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun doing the research and talking with people and our clients that we had been working with and just our own life experiences. So.
And the Saturdays and Sundays there in just drafting the book and going over things. We had a lot of fun.
Even just on vacations when we were in the plane, we'd be talking about it. We had the laptop out, we were typing things in, taking notes down.
It was
Right.
fun.
And so she has you coaching now too, huh?
Yes.
Yes. And the women love to be coached by him.
Yeah.
They like to get the male perspective just to see what we're thinking and
Yeah, and I gotta say,
or when we're not thinking.
right, exactly. When I was in your seminar, I was really impressed to hear what you had to say, and it's like, oh God, my guy friends need to be here because they can relate to you.
Yes.
Whereas, you know, many times it's like, oh, Diane, it's just another girl thing.
Exactly.
And I explained to him, it's not. I mean, relationship is not just about women, it's about, you know, men too.
Yeah.
So
It's
It takes two to make it work, and both have to put some work into it, but the work is fun. I mean, it's not boring work. You can really have a lot of fun doing it. And our seminars are a lot of fun, and I think people have a great time at them.
So what do you feel your role has been in helping Jeannine with everything that she's accomplished?
Well, you know, I originally started out doing a lot of the research and the reading about it and a lot of the work I had done on myself. And then as I got into it, it was providing the male perspective and just giving her a little bit of a sounding board to try things off on. And then we got up in front of people, and it was really a lot of fun versus the one-on-one coaching that we had been doing.
Right. So what do you see as some of the most challenges people face in dating, and some of the major mistakes that people do make when they date, from the women's and the male's perspective?
Well, he has a very different perspective on this, but mine is working with people and having them understand that when they get out there in the dating world, they're actually starting in the middle. That, you know, they figure, you know, they got out of a relationship, let's jump back into it, get right back on the horse. Instead of doing the introspective work, you know, kind of a detox of the relationship and getting back in contact with what you desire and examine some of your dating or relationship mistakes before you get back out there again.
Right. And Keith, what do you see?
And I think from the male perspective, what I see is that guys will get out into the dating world and they don't really know what they want. But they have an image in the back of their mind that they want this woman with staples in her stomach. And by that I mean it's the centerfold. It's the airbrushed, photoshopped thing. But they haven't thought about what they really want in a relationship. They haven't thought about the inner beauty, and they haven't thought about all those qualities. And not only that, what qualities they need to attract a woman like that. So guys just think they kind of know what they're doing, and they go out there, and it's that hunter syndrome, and they're hunting for their date versus looking for a relationship where they can bond.
I love the two of you. It's two different perspectives, but I get and I understand both. You know, I get it and I understand both. Many times I think a lot of people, particularly when I was really young, and a lot of women get caught up in this thing of marriage. It's just so excited to get married, but they forget about the relationship.
Yeah.
Do you find men kind of fall in that trap too, or is it
Not
different
as often,
for them?
but I had one client who was so focused on wanting to get married and have children that his biological clock was ticking more than any woman's I've ever heard of.
Really?
And he got into a number of relationships and was really pushing that issue, and he would push the women away by that. Now, he since then got into a great relationship where they already had children, and they've had children together. So, and they've been together a long, long time. But he had to get past that, I need to do this and I need to do it now.
Yeah. Ooh, interesting. So we want to find out how we could help people at home find their soulmates. So where do you suggest that people start?
With themselves. It is about being comfortable with yourself and in your own skin, and that when you're in a good, healthy place, you're going to attract in a good, healthy relationship because you won't tolerate anything less than that if you're in a healthy place. You'll see when something's off for you, and that when someone's not treating you well, you see that and you respond appropriately.
Beautiful. So simple. But that can be so difficult for people to understand.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there are a lot of people that are in relationships where, you know, they're not being treated well. How do you address those conditions where people, you know, don't care enough about themselves that, you know, they don't they say that they don't have the strength to say no to someone that's not treating them well.
One of the big things that Keith and I work on in our seminar is something called the Itty Bitty Shitty Committee, which is you know, the things we say to ourselves over and over again that are not positive. We focus on the negatives. Like you look in the mirror. What was the saying that you were saying on the way over about the paper bag one?
Oh, and you know, there's a couple things you can do. You look in the mirror and you say, hey, I'm getting better looking day after day. You're probably a little too into yourself. There's the other one where you look in the mirror and you go, oh my God, I can't go out. Where's my paper bag? So you need to have a healthy balance in there somewhere where that self-talk is saying, hey, it's going to be a great day. I'm a unique individual and I'm going to go out and have some fun and make some things happen.
Right, because if you do too much of that self-talk, people may see you as being self-absorbed, and you don't want that to happen.
Well, that's what we call the wide swing. You go from, you know, not feeling good about yourself to putting this facade on, you know, and you're still in the same place. It just looks different.
Right. So a lot of dealing with relationships is first to have a healthy relationship with yourself and realizing any bad habits that you may have within yourself.
Absolutely. In our seminar, we reveal what we call the 10 toxic relationship patterns. And these are the 10 typical kinds of relationships that people get in that just are unhealthy relationships. And once people understand that what they are, they can move past those and make different decisions.
Okay. Now you mentioned in your work, it's not about perfecting yourself. It's about accepting that you're not perfect.
Absolutely.
Explain that.
Well, no one's going to be perfect. You know, that's an impossibility. You know, it is people pretending to be perfect. But when you have arrived at that healthy place is when you can look at yourself with all the good qualities about yourself and all those warts about yourself and say, hey, I'm an interesting, good catch. That's what we're talking about, not about being perfect, because it won't happen.
Okay, so, yeah, and you know, when I heard that, I felt a little guilty of that too, because I just feel everything has to be perfect and just right before you can go on to anything else. And I do find that when one is like that, then you kind of expect that of others around you.
Absolutely.
And I think it's good to realize that, you know, before you get into a relationship, because it kind of runs down the line, not only with your spouse, but your children.
No question about it, because it's that you got to look a certain way, got to be a certain way. It puts a lot of pressure on someone to perform in a way that they aren't even programmed to perform at. So it's wonderful to actually get healthy about yourself and about not judging yourself. And then you won't pass that judgment on to your spouse, husband, friends, etc.
It leads for when you have a nice, when you treat yourself well, then it's easier to treat others well. If you don't have that negative talk within yourself, you could say kinder, gentler things to others.
Exactly,
too.
and when you're accepting of yourself, you're accepting of others. And it doesn't mean you can't work on yourself to improve yourself, but you accept yourself the way you are, and you accept others the way they are.